Okay, the wait is finally over for the 50 millionth time. I can finally start this thing. Can we get a second and move this out the way? And that's always gonna be in the corner. Okay. I don't know why I decided on a whim to start this, but it's happening at the middle of the night. Me reading cringy fics that I collected and piled up on top of the screen right here. As you can see, this has been clear research right here. It's just a typical day for me. This is how I make a video. But anyway. Oh man, I just deleted it. God dang it. It took me 3 hours to find that. Okay. Anyway, let's start the cringe. We're gonna start with a simple one. This is my favorite Prucan story. It's not my favorite as it's well written. It's my favorite as it's the most hilarious thing I ever read. And I don't think that was the author's intent. And I don't mean to be mean all the time when I'm reading fanfic, but sometimes it's good to have a laugh. Okay. Okay, let me read the title because even if you read it, it's a tragedy, but it's a comedy if you read it right. Okay. Gilbert challenges Matthew to live a day without him, and if he passes, he will love him forever. You think you know what the story is gonna be about when you read it, but yeah, this is like 12 years old, 2010. That's why I gave it some slack in the first place. But when you hear how it ends, it's like the funniest thing ever. Okay, let's start the story. Okay, this is basically the title, just in case you couldn't read it before. Okay, and here's a disclaimer. Hetalia, a sad story from Facebook. It got all the trademarks. Don't read if you don't want to be sad. I think the opposite is true. Read if you want a good laugh. You're feeling sad sometimes. It's good to have a laugh sometimes. And suggest while listening to Soul album. Don't tell me what to do. Okay, let's start this. Okay, first spelling mistakes. That's kind of common though in these kind of stories. But the spelling mistakes is the least of the problems. So as we can see here, Matthew was not the one who was talking, but he's being talked to. We can let those mistakes slide. Matthew glances over to his boyfriend. He admires how magnificent his blood red eyes were as it sparkled from the light coming from the setting sun, and how his lover's silver locks fluttered as the wind passed by. So, you can obviously tell this is supposed to be Prussia, but he said it was magnificent. I don't think blood and magnificent goes in the same sentence. Blood red eyes. This is probably the one time you're allowed to use crimson in a sentence like that. Silver locks. I think Prussia's hair is kind of short, but whatever. And today was a perfect day. Gilbert had taken him out to out on one of the most, his lover would say, awesome dates. You're gonna have to put up with the grammar. It's kind of bad, but it's worth it. Okay, but of course, Matthew spent with his beloved were the awesome days, even if they didn't do anything special. Okay. Right off the bat, they're in love. We know they're in love because the word awesome is used to describe their love. Okay. Let's keep it going. Birdie, are you up to it? First, Matthew is not talking again. It's supposed to be Prussia, but he's too cool to be referred to in the paragraph, except for by Silverlocks. Matthew nodded, and he tightened on his hold onto Gilbert's arms. It says Gilbert right here. I can say Matthew, but I cannot say Gilbert. So it's gonna be Prussia whenever I see Gilbert. That's probably just me. Okay. Prussia's arm, and he rested on his head, and his head on his shoulder, and you could say this was a perfect end of a perfect date. It was perfect. As they sat by the shore watching the sunset, listening to the crashing waves of the sea. Prussia rested his head on top of Matthew's head. Okay. The challenge is to live without me for a whole day. No texts, no calls, no emails. Matthew frowned. They still not referring to him, so it's hard to tell if he's the one talking, but he's talking. Don't worry about it. Matthew frowned and when he looked at his lovers to see him looking forward into the distance, watching the sunset. Finally, when he didn't get it answered, Prussia looked down at his beloved to see a confused, angelic look on his face. Because in these kind of fics, Canada doesn't have a personality. Everyone refers to him as angelic, because he's supposed to be the nice character. So that's, whenever people refer to him, he's only going to have good, positive traits. No negative traits, no manly traits. You're going to see a lot of that. Think you can handle that, Birdie? Matthew turned and looked at his knees. And it's right there. It's tightly hugged. The white bear Gilbert had won for him from the fair they went to. Okay, so Matthew, he can't do anything by himself. He couldn't have got that himself. Gilbert clearly got it because he's his boyfriend. And Matthew is his girlfriend. I mean, his boyfriend, apparently. Okay. Seeing that his lover was upset, he grabbed Matthew's chin and forced him to look into the eyes. This is romantic. Okay, don't worry about it. Think you can handle that, Birdie? Okay, okay. There's a lot of this, too. Okay. I don't know. I'd rather watch a Hallmark. I could have been watching Hallmark movies, Christmas movies, right now on loop, instead of doing this. I'd rather do that. Okay. Matthew... No, I did that part. Okay. He forced him to look him into the eyes. Matthew Williams, if you do this, I will love you forever. The albino said with a smile on his face. This is a threat. Move this out of the way. Okay. Click that. Okay. And then, seeing his lover was upset, Matthew grabbed his... I did this part already. Okay. Let me make this bigger. I can keep reading the same line over. All caps are coming. Okay. Gilbert had never called Matthew by his real name unless something was... They're not supposed to be countries in this. Okay. I don't know what they're trying to say here. It reminded Matthew when Gilbert confessed to him. Okay, let's go down all caps down here. As you can see in these all caps... Okay, now Prussia is being referred to as the albino. He's not even albino. Jeez. And there's his sheer determination in his eye. He yelled, "Matthew Williams, I love you. Would you please go out with me?" An anime red blood face. Because, yeah. This would, of course, have been a comical moment if Matthew didn't feel the same way. What? This would have been a comical moment if Matthew did. You mean didn't? Okay. Okay. And then he confessed to him. Oh yeah, and this happened, and just to let you guys know, this huge confession scene happened. No, they're dating. This is supposed to be a flashback. I don't think the author wrote that well. It's supposed to be a flashback, but there's no like header to separate it. And then let's see. Receiving no response. Yeah, he just confessed his love entire math class. He can do that, but he can't handle a rejection. And he was surprised when he suddenly jerked back to meet Matthew's lips. And then in fact he was so surprised he fainted right then and there. Because that's romantic, I guess. It's a cute, quirky moment. Because Matthew's supposed to be a cool character. Okay. Not Matthew, that'd be Prussia, supposed to be cool in this. Let's see. Matthew chuckled at the memory and leaned in on his lips. Once again, he was graced with the blushing Prussia, but instead of a cocky smile, he received a sad one that did not reach his beautiful... Now you could use another word besides bloodshot eyes. Matthew sighed. Okay. It's fine to have these kind of fantasies, but keep them in line if you're going to put them in a fanfic. You can write whatever, but if I can't read it, it's like, why did you write it? Ugh. That's not to say you can write whatever you want, but if you're going to put it on fanfic back then, please make sure I can read it. Okay. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh my god, I was so garbage. Okay, where am I? Right here. Okay. A sad smile. But you better keep your promise and love me forever. Matthews gave Gilbert a serious look. And then puffed his cheek, crossed his arms in a childish manner. So I guess, let me get a visual on this garbage. Let me get my paint out. Let's see, I'm trying to visualize this. Don't save this, okay. I can't draw, but... Because he's supposed to be kawaii desu. Okay. Puffed cheeks, crossed arms. Sun. Cute. Okay. I guess I get it. Okay, let's go back to the story. Okay. I'm trying to understand this. Okay, fine. I'll agree to the stupid challenge, but you better keep your promise and love me forever. Oh yeah, I did this part. And then Gilbert chuckled at his angels. He doesn't have a name anymore. Childish act and kissed him on the cheek, right in on the lips. Let's see. Oh, let me add to this. Okay. So Matthew's upset, and then we're gonna make I guess a kissy mark right there. Because they were in love. We gotta do that. Okay. Okay. I get it. Okay, let's go back to the story. Okay, let's go back. And then... he pulled him into a hug and nuzzled his hair. I already drew it. I'm not drawing it again. Okay. And Matthew thought about if he already knew Gilbert. The Gilbert he knew never once made a promise he couldn't keep. One promise in particular brought a smile. How many flashbacks are you gonna? This is another flashback, okay? The first flashback, he was in high school. This had flashback, they're kids now, okay? It was a promise they made when they were kids. Gilbert had the thought that Matthew was a girl. Oh my god, are we doing this? Okay. And swore that he would be his knight in shining armor, protecting him from anything that could harm him. Especially stupid heroes, America, crazy pirates, England, I guess, and perverted wine freaks, France. Okay, so we're gonna do this cliche of in the BL when the guy thinks that he's in love with a girl, basically HR with Italy. But then they because they look like a girl. Okay. Even though they were separate when they were kids, and they finally got to meet each other again in high school, Gilbert kept the promise even when he finally figured out Matthew was a boy. This seemed like the more interesting story that was. No, never mind, because what's about to happen, you'll see. Okay. He found out in the changing room. Why are you watching people in the changing room? Okay. And he was an overprotective hen, which caused Gilbert to get dumped by his girlfriend. Okay, this story commits a great sin. Not only is it a Prucan story, it also hints at a Pruhan relationship. Now, this story is implying that Canada has the body type of a girl. Let me go check for a second. God dang it. I don't think that's true. Okay. Clearly, no. I don't want any Russia. Not yet. Okay. 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 Maybe this image, but he's like a teenager. He looks nothing like a girl either. Okay. And, okay. Yeah, that was like a teen, Canada. Okay, he got dumped by, I assume, Hungary, because, there's no other girl that he has a crush on, so the author has to throw that in. Oh, now the author knows how to do transitions, later that night. Okay. Make this smaller. Gilbert took off his shoes. He took off his shoes, okay, and entered the house with his brother and father waiting for him. His father's, I guess, supposed to be Germania. I rarely see him in fics sometimes. Waiting for him in the living room. He smiled as he remembers Matthew's smiling face. Oh, there's a. I'm gonna have to censor that. Okay. No. Okay. They had ice cream in the car, and his smile faded. Did you tell him? His father asked. Gilbert shook his head. And he looked at his brother, who looked. I'm trying to make this bigger. Okay. Let me move this. Okay. As long as the car is fine. Okay. He didn't tell. It. Don't cry. Okay, so as you can see, Gilbert was supposed to tell Matthew something. But they were too busy making ice cream in the car. Did you tell him? Was the monotone question asked. Gilbert shook his head. He looked at his brother, who looked so much like his father, unrelated, and then Ludwig had a sad look on his face. And if you look closely, you can see tears forming at the corner of his eyes. How about you say tears were forming in his eyes? Word count. Okay. Come on, little brother, don't cry on me now, Gilbert said in a voice that sloppily covered his fake cheerfulness. I'm gonna get off this page. I don't want to see that ice cream thing. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. So, as you can see, something tragic is about to happen. I don't think it has the effect that the author wants it to have. Okay. And, okay, let me continue reading. Everyone's crying, pulling Gilbert, Prussia into a hug, and they're crying. And then Gilbert says he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to leave Matthew, and he cries into a mess. And then even though his brother started it, he doesn't want to hug him. His brother awkwardly hugged him, and he just proceeded to let the tears fall down as Matthew tightened his hole as he would die. Let go, he would die. Seeing his sons made his heart clench as he let the tears fall, and he hugged both of them. I told him not to contact me for the whole day tomorrow, Gilbert said. As he somewhat calmed down, it took a white envelope out of his jacket and handed it to his father. When he comes over here the day after tomorrow, give it to him. The albino said in a dull, tired voice. His father nodded and went to his room. Once we get to what's going on, this is not going to make any sense. Okay. With a dull click and that signaled his door was closed, he laid down in his bed, clutching a picture of Matthew. Okay, good night, my beloved birdie. You've been awesome. You've been so awesome, I can't call you by your name. Okay. No, Canada's not dead. Canada's still alive, but they're talking about him like he's not a person, so he might as well be dead. Okay. Maybe one day he'll see Matthew again in the morning. Okay, you can tell something dramatic's gonna happen the day after tomorrow. Okay, the next day, but let's get to this morning part. He wakes up, smile on his face, rubbing his sword, and then they gotta mention this. He was passionate when they were making ice cream. Okay, they grabbed his phone to text and his lover, but then he remembered the challenge Gilbert gave him. Let's see. He didn't want to think about it. It would have been a terrible, lonely day and not for his awesome life to live. Matthew got out of his bed and thought about what he was going to do on a Gilbertless day because he cannot think for himself, apparently. Okay, let's go. Next day, it all happens. Okay. Matthew happily skips to Gilbert's, this is supposed to be house. Yesterday was a hellish and awesome day, as Matthew thought Gilbert would say. And he was happy to see Gilbert today, and the thought that albino would say, I love you forever, made Matthew just the more excited. God knows Matthew won't be able to stay much longer without his lover, because he's not a person. Okay, yesterday he was read a book and occasionally looking at the pictures of him and Matthew when they were out on their ski trip, read a book, thinking of his beloved albino boyfriend and so on. Okay, they don't even refer to each other properly. A singular word? He knocked on the door and waited for someone, hoping it was Gilbert, who answered the door. He really wanted to see Gilbert. Okay, they're hyping it up. It's gonna happen. Okay, as he waited, a lot of cars were parked around Gilbert's house. Oh my god. He opened the door and revealed a tall, stern blonde with long hair. And then, oh, hi, last name? I was helping not to bother, I'm not bothering, but where is Gilbert here? Matthew acts in a hopeful tone. The taller blonde did nothing but look down and beg him to follow. And so Gilbert closed the door. And the taller blonde led Matthew to the living room. At the first glance, he thought they were having a party. And then he started to feel left out as he saw Gilbert and his friends in the living room and thought it was gone. As he saw the look on their face. Okay, disturbed. They're all in the living room. And he thought they were having a party. He's disturbed that even Alfred, why did Alfred not tell you about what's gonna happen? This is the best story it's best not to reread it. Okay. And even Alfred, who looks like a life, he went without you, he didn't tell you? He didn't know that you guys were dating? Okay. He had his head hung in sadness. Okay. He fully entered the living room to see a coffin. Okay. He see a coffin. A coffin with an envelope lying on top. So it was a funeral? But for who? No one mentioned anyone dying. He looked around the place to see that no one would answer his questioning gaze. He tried to see what Gilbert was around so he could get some answers, but it seemed nobody was willing to give him one. And he looked at Gilbert's dad standing by the coffin and saw he was the only one willing to look him in the eyes. Where's Gilbert's dad held up a hand to stop him from talking and told him to come over. Confused, Matthew went over to look at the coffin to see who had died, and what he saw would very chilled his very being. What he saw through the glass window of the coffin. Okay, so there's a window on this coffin. He still couldn't tell who it was. Okay, was his beloved with his eyes closed and his face holding no emotion. And even though his skin was paler than usual, he was lying there in there like a dead person. Okay. Tears began to flow as things probably cut out with Matthew. His throat tightened. He tried to speak and nothing would come out. He tried to yell to do something, but it seemed like his body wouldn't listen to him. Francis and Alfred approached him to try to comfort him and putting comforting hands on his, but they were shocked that their hands were flopped away. Okay, so if you guys are confused, Gilbert is dead. For some reason, they're doing the funeral at his house. He's not at the morgue or anything. They set up a funeral in 2 days? Yeah, don't think about it. Okay. What kind of joke is this? Matthew looked at the coffin to face Gilbert's dad, wiping tears away. Now, there is a way. There's no way that the man he loved was in that coffin. Okay. It's not a joke. Gilbert, my elder son, is dead. The owner of the house, they're just gonna call him that now. He had an illness that ran in my wife's family, and we found out Gilbert had it after your high school graduation. I thought they was in high school. I'm learning so much by rereading this. Okay. At this point, the elder block started to shake. He didn't want to tell people until he was gone. He said he didn't want anyone to worry about or start treating him differently. Okay. I can see what the author is trying to do here, but it just comes so out of nowhere. Prussia in the coffin. It seemed like a relatively normal story. All of a sudden, he says, "Yeah, that's him in the coffin over there. You want to see?" Okay, no one wanted to treat him differently. He is now hanging out to his son's coffin for support. Linwood stood up to give support to his old man. When he regained his balance, he looked at Matthew with a sad look. He wanted me to give this to you. Okay. He took the envelope that was on top of the coffin and handed it to Matthew. Matthew took the envelope with shaking hands, just like the older blonde. He opened it and burst into tears and crumbled on the floor. Not caring anymore, he let a scream that was deafening to the short of silence as it followed him out as he passed down with a piece of paper. And then the letter said, "You did it, Bertie. Now can you do it every day? Remember, I'll always love you, Matthew. Forever your shining knight. Prussia." And the story's over. As you can see, it's a masterpiece. But I don't know what the author wasn't trying to do. But this story kind of makes the Prussia in this story look kind of evil or like unknowingly like a jerk. Because why would you string along someone like that, even if you don't want them to be sad like that, and make them look at everybody but Matthew knew about the funeral. So when he walks up in there to look at your coffin, that's just gonna make him look like an idiot. I don't know, just a funny story. It's not even funny. It's just so shocking that. Why would you not tell him that you're gonna be dead in a few months? Not a few months. The day after tomorrow. You got your friends, family. They're all coming over to your house, but you don't want to tell Matthew. Like, I don't know, man. It's just so confusing. I guess I could tell what the author tried to, because those stories like end on a romantic note. Because the ending is like a good ending. It's just that it seems so rushed that it makes no point. No, leave it alone. Okay. It's like, why have it something dramatic? You didn't build up to it or anything. But let's go. I don't know if it was based on a meme. It's more like, imagine going over to your boyfriend's house, and then he's dead. Everybody but you knows. Okay, that was that one. Let's see. I got like a bunch of these up here. Okay. Yeah, no build up or anything. Nothing in the middle to build up to that. Let's see what we got next. Oh my god, here we go. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, this is the press rush stuff. Okay, as you can see, there's like 3 of them. There's this one, the short one. It's very short. It's not even that bad. It's so short, it's not that bad. Then we got this one, which is basically setting the history up for this one. I don't even like these, but I know that you gotta read them in a certain order or you won't understand nothing. So, all 3 of these are a story. But they're standalone stories. You gotta read them in a certain order. I read these so many times because I was so confused. But as you can see right here, the author writes BL, so some of the message is tainted. Oh no, when you write BL, it's fine. It's whatever. But it kind of taints the message when you're following just stereotypes. Because clearly they was following some stereotypes. You'll see in a second. Okay. Okay, let's, here's the name of the offenders. Okay. Okay, this is the first one. It's very short. It's like, how many pages is this? Only 12 pages. And we're on page 4 right now. Okay, in this scene, Prussia is throwing a little temper tantrum. It's hard to describe manga like it is a book. Okay, you can see it. He's basically throwing a temper tantrum as Russia watches him. And then, for some reason, Russia is the voice of reason in this scenario. I can see what they're doing. Right now, they're doing this. And then, get this out the way. Okay. They're having a little fight. And then they make a joke about communism. That's cool, that's good, that's good. It's whatever. They're building the story up. And then Prussia's like a diva for some reason. You probably have seen this. They make Prussia a diva for some reason. I mean, Prussia's annoying about certain things, but it's just so out of place. Because I can see him having this conversation, but especially why is he yelling at Russia? You'll see this a lot in he'd be yelling at Russia, but he's supposed to be scared of Russia. So it makes no sense because they're following BL storylines. And this storyline, the tsundere character is upset at something the sime character that they think is normal. I've seen this story like 1 billion times. Okay. It doesn't even have to be Russia or Prussia. This story happens a lot. Okay. And this one, they even call attention to the fact that Prussia is not in character. And then the one time they make a reference that Russia is scared of him, it's a one-off joke, which is fine. You know, be a comedy, be you. But then he's over here shouting at Russia again. It's like, be consistent with your stories. And then you'll figure out on the next page that Russia is annoyed with Prussia, which that would be the case because you can see in the original stage, Russia desperately wants to be Prussia's friend. He'll do anything that Prussia says. If Prussia's complaining about some clothes, Russia will try to fix it. He'll try to hang out. You know, he'll try to chill. But in this one, he's supposed to be irritated at Prussia because that's the sime character role. Okay. So right now he's like, nothing but clothes. Nobody's watching you, but then Russia reveals that he wants Sorry, their names are so similar I may get them confused sometime. Prussia reveals that he cares about Russia's opinion. And then he accidentally says that. They got the tender blushing moment right there. And then Russia's so shocked. And then in typical Dojin fashion, that leads to a moment that's gonna need me to censor this. Okay. And then that happens. And then my life is ruined because this thing thinks it's funny. It thinks it's funny to toy with my expectations. It isn't. Well, it is kind of funny because, like, they do this on the floor because they're trying to be, because they're following the beats now. They're following the beats. This will lead to, like, what's with this face right here? Why are you calm as he's looking down at you? Wouldn't this normally freak Prussia out? Look at this. This is a typical BL scene. I know why you put it in there. I read BL. And then this happens. We already know what's happening. Because I'm going to censor it. Because I don't know what Twitch should do with stuff like that. We're basically censoring, we're censoring the church right now. This is something that's supposed to be sacred, but RusPrus wants to ruin it for everybody by making stuff that makes no sense. So they're having a good time. And then, yeah, Russia says what kind of clothes you wear or what kind of country you are, as long as it's you. I say, oh, that's kind of sweet. But who are you? You're not Russia. Russia would say stuff like that, but Russia wouldn't, like, push down Prussia like that. He's a sadist, but he has no, like, sexual interest and stuff like that. But I like this scene. They got one thing about Russia right, is he likes maids. That's a good thing to... That's the only thing you got? That was a one-off scene? That he likes maids? Oh, well, then there's this, clearly Hungary... I can't read Japanese, but I see Russia and Prussia fighting. That's clearly a hint. Look at Russia. He looks so annoyed. That's a semi-annoyed face. That's not a Russia annoyed face. And then this is basically over for this one. There's like one more page, I think. But basically, look at all these cute moments that would never happen. Yeah, that one was really short, but let's go see the comments. Yeah, that's... The comments are alright right now. But when you get to this stuff, that's when you start to fear for your life. Okay. You get the comments like, they're underrated. Prussia's so compatible with Russia. And then, whatever this is, what I'm looking at... Basically, you can have a R-word story as a genre now in BL. And this is the main ship for it. I'll be fine if you want to have a R-word story, but this couple really doesn't match that kind of... This makes more sense for like a darker couple, like, I don't know, I can see this happening with more of Belarus than Prussia and Russia. Because Prussia, when we see in his character, it makes no sense. He doesn't like that kind of stuff. He's scared of Russia. And he's a very cowardly person. But, you know, that's what fanfic's for. Okay, let's go read this. And you can see what I'm talking about. Because it begins. Okay. Get this off the screen. Do you remember me? The main offender that spreads this nonsense. Okay. Because it's right there. There's a cute picture. It captures people. You think that's what the story's gonna be about? Their forbidden love. It's all cute. It's all fine. Let's see here. What is over here? He's gonna be coming near new. Okay. Right now we got a scene building it up. Building it up. Okay. Get past the titles. Okay, right here. It begins with what's really wrong with this pairing. Prussia beat up on the manga floor because he wasn't in love. This all happened because he wasn't in love. Thank you for telling me, manga. But then you're like, oh, this is just a dramatic story. But no, immediately on this page, it's gonna get censored. Yeah, the art is pretty, but it doesn't match the characters. It's a BL style art, and at times it seems so jarring because that art doesn't match. It doesn't match certain characters. Russia especially. It'll make him more slender than he actually is. If you're wondering why this is coming out real soon, it's because it's immediately after Prussia says he got beaten up because he wasn't in love back then. We were introduced to what he's talking about, and that's him. He said that he slept with Russia because his body belonged to Russia, and that's basically what he was expected to do. And Russia's not telling him he's wrong. Russia's like not telling him that he doesn't have to do it. For the sake of this manga, Russia just lets him do it. Lets him like humiliate himself. Tells him to hurry up. And then Prussia's over here spilling out he has to do it for his brother, do it for his people, you know, all that sad stuff. But later on, we're gonna see that Russia thought something else was going on. Which is confusing, because he's over here telling him to hurry it up, and he's degraded him too. With lines like this, let me move this over. Because this is good for a BL novel, a BL comic. But in the context of the story, he's like degrading Prussia. This is like after he lost to Russia in the World War II. And he lost to Russia, he lost his brother, they were separated. And they're doing all of this. And he's on the floor beat up, and everyone's just looking. Why is Germany not helping? I can see because he's forced to go with America and England. But the way he looks at him, he has no eyes. And then, let's see. He was exhausted. And then they make this joke, which... You know, you got me. You got me. You made a viral region joke. You know what? You got me. It's cold here. And then for some reason, is Prussia supposed to be older than Russia? That's a common BL thing, where the bottom is, I don't know, man. They're trying to do something. And then they're in the bed together afterwards. Like, it's all fine. It's all cute. It's all cuddly. And then, you think so, but look at that look at his face. This is supposed to be the start of romance, but in the next scene, he's happy to be back. Yeah, notice the art right here. The art makes him look way more different than his original self, and that's a BL thing, where they make the one character look feminine, and the other one look overly muscular. So, unfortunately, even though Prussia had muscles in the original thing, he's been chosen to be the feminine one in this couple. Let's see. Lithuania doesn't matter in this. He's out of character, he doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who he is. Let's see. It's a couple years later, okay. And then we learned that everyone's coming to Germany's house. They're gonna have a meeting. Everything's gonna be like, apparently it's supposed to be comical. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be normal. But we're looking at this, and it's clearly not normal for Prussia. He's thinking about this, and they're about to get ready. Prussia's clearly thinking about this stuff because why would the manga be here? And then Germany's finally worried about his brother. We're trying to show he's worried, which will come in later. And then, what is this? Okay. This is what people think Prussia's like. Okay. And they're all getting ready to attend the meeting, even though Germany doesn't want Prussia to go. He tells him he doesn't have to go. But for the sake of this manga, Prussia is gonna go. And then he's gonna get, he's gonna talk a game. And then they're gonna go, and then it's gonna start this manga because clearly Russia's gonna be there, and it's gonna be like a reunion. Like, oh, I'm glad they're so cute, they're meeting again. But the last time they met, Prussia was like crying into his brother's arms, And even, look at this. Okay. This art. Okay. The art is cool and all, but this doesn't match Germany's face. It's too angular. Let's see. And then, they're like building it up. They're gonna, start with, right now Prussia's thinking about it. And then, they're gonna zoom over to Russia, where they're gonna start to make us feel bad for him. This is something you're gonna notice a lot when you read a RusPrus story. They'll make Russia do some heinous things, but they're gonna want you to feel bad for him. Okay? This is normal. It's not normal for life, but in these stories, that's normal. You expect it. Because right now his boss is telling him to suck it up, and he's supposed to feel bad for him, like, oh, his boss is terrible. No wonder he's, no. That's how they get you. Okay. Right now, especially not in front of America. America's barely in this story, okay? Even in Aimbrush, it makes more sense for Russia to be paying more attention to America than Prussia, even though Russia wants to be Prussia's friend. But America he finds so annoying that he has to, like, go at him at every opportunity. Okay, so Russia, he's sick. This is gonna come in later. And he's sick, he's late, he's coming. Not yet, okay. And then there's America, but he's only in one panel. And then we see that Russia thinks he's so lonely. And then we're supposed to wonder why he thinks this way. After the beginning pages showed us him taking advantage of Russia, it's like, story. What are you trying to tell me? Okay, and then so Prussia is, I guess, calling out to America. Tell him to shut up. Prussia would never do that. Prussia is not. First of all, America and Prussia have like the same energy. So that's not gonna happen. Okay, so now they see each other. America's only in one panel. Let's keep it going. Russia's sick. And then the Germany brothers. That's a nice shot. Okay, they're both talking about, they're the hosts, they're putting these things, but this is all like, this is tableware. The real reason is we want to see Russia see that Prussia knows that he's there. And then he's going to call out to him, act like they're friends. He all smiles. And then they're trying to catch up. He's trying to catch up, and then he's acting shocked when Prussia doesn't want to talk to him. But then he's like all friendly, but we could clearly see that this is supposed to be a good thing because the filter in the background, even though Prussia is sweating, the filter in the background highlights this as a good moment. We'll see in a second. And then Prussia tells him he doesn't want him to be there. And Russia's just like, no, I'm gonna be here. Which is fine, you know, it's a public, no, it's his house. It's not fine. He says, I don't want you here. Then Russia says, no, because that's funny. That's kind of funny. In a different setting, in the original show, that would be funny. If someone told Prussia to leave and he said no, it would be a funny moment. But this one, he's clearly uncomfortable, tells him to leave his house. He says no. And then Russia wants to act like they're friends, tug on his arm. And look at this psycho look at his eye. What is this supposed to tell me? Am I supposed to learn from this? And then he wants to have beer and the drinks. And then Russia's like, he's really sweating over this. But even though he's sweating over this, Russia always gets his way. Even though he's fighting right now, Russia always gets his way. And he says it right here, why do I have to pretend to be friends with you? And then Russia's like, that happened a long time ago, doesn't matter. And then when Prussia says that he doesn't want to remember anything, he doesn't want, Russia gets mad, even though before he said, they're probably not going to meet, doesn't matter, none of this matters. And then Prussia's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. And then Russia's mad that Prussia doesn't think it matters. But he just said it earlier. What are you trying to send me? And then we could tell a scene is about to come up because the color changes. He upset Russia. How dare he? So he's gonna get punished in a few scenes because Russia thinks it's funny to like first he told him no. He said he didn't want to remember it, and then Russia's like, "How dare you?" And then he's like sweated, but this is common in these kind of stories. As soon as he opens his mouth, yeah, he gets mad. So like, what is it that you want from him? And then they're doing something right here. You can see it, even though this guy, I think it's Germany, maybe, doesn't say anything. And then a scene is happening. A very explicit scene. Because Russia, this is the only way Russia knows how to communicate in these stories. It's not just Russia. This is the BL genre. They only know how to communicate this way. So they doing this against the wall, and that's fine. It put a little passion in the story. I would say Christian Grey because at least he had a contract. Christian Grey had a contract. He had a business. And then they're against the wall. Prussia hears like his friends and stuff. He wants to leave, but Russia keeps like making the advancements on him, and he's clearly getting joy out of the fact that Russia wants to leave, but at the same time, for some reason, Prussia also wants to keep kissing Russia. That's a common thing that happens in these kind of stories, and so they're done kissing. But, the scene's not over yet, but I can show it this part. They're done kissing. But, God dang it. And then they do all that garbage, but now he doesn't want to do it, even though he let him do it earlier. Or first it was a forceful kiss. And then, now it's not a kiss, so now Prussia is confusing the whole thing. And sending mixed messages. You said it, but and then he's like, you think I say yes? Even though he returned the kiss a second ago? And then apparently that turns Russia on, even though defiance is not what turns Russia on. He clearly likes submissive people, but R-word them. And even Prussia or Russia would not do that, okay? Even if he's a sadist, sadists have contracts, like Christian Grey, all stuff like that. Anyway, and then they're doing the snappy stuff. But look, yep, right here. Okay, threatened him because he had no choice. Basically forced him to do whatever because he didn't want to do it, and that's okay because he wanted to do it. That's fine. Okay. But because he didn't want to do it, he had to be chained up and stuff. And he had to be made to do it. Oh my god, look at this. And then he says he had dinner with him, and then he slept with him every day because for the sake of his brother, he had to R-word him, okay? And then they did snowflowers, they made snowmen, they did a lot of stuff. But then Russia's like, no, I wasn't free. And then Russia was like, could you at least pretend that you were happy or something? Because it makes me look pretty bad. And I was like, yeah, you do look pretty bad. Which is because I know you look pretty bad because what's going to happen next in the scene? Russia apparently tells him that he couldn't stop him from doing anything. He had no freedom. And Russia's on the floor. You're supposed to feel bad for him. Like, no, he's like, how was I supposed to stop? Yeah, you were his boss. He couldn't do anything. What was he supposed to do? And he's like, you're free. And then Prussia's like, yeah, I'm free. Do as you please. And then now Prussia feels bad. Because he made a valid point, and that doesn't belong in this story. Nuh-uh. No one makes a valid point except for Russia. He's the only one who could be right in the story. Feel bad. He's the only one who could be correct. And then Russia says he'll do whatever he wants. But we know that's just the defiance thing. It's temporary. And then, okay, let's keep it going. He gave him his freedom. He wouldn't be together with me, but we know how the story ends. Look at him cry. We feel bad for he didn't get his way yet again. And then he says this is more than the painful than the fight in America, because that fight didn't matter. That was like prolonged for 50 years with no movement, okay? Okay, that fight didn't matter. And then scheduled. Okay, they're having a conversation. Everyone's all happy and stuff. Prussia's like, he's feel bad, man. He's feel bad because he made a valid point, and that's not allowed. And then everyone clearly could tell that Prussia's upset. And Prussia's, he's feeling moved. Everyone's called out to him. Then, oh yeah, we gotta be reminded that Italy and the other characters exist. I give the manga props for remembering that Prussia has a crush on Italy. You know, that's a good thing. Because most of the mangas tend to forget this. Because they want to put Prussia with Hungary, or they want to put him with, like, Germany. They want to put him with Russia. So they forget that Prussia has, like, a canon crush on Italy. So I'll give them props. But I won't give them props on what's going to happen next. Where they're all heading out drinking. And then he sees him walk by himself. And he feels bad. Because why not? And then we see Belarus. Just because. She sometimes comes to these meetings, I guess it's fine. And then he, for some reason, even though Prussia's the type of character who would avoid Belarus, he avoided Switzerland because he thought he was too angry. He would avoid Belarus. And then he's like, let me go talk to her. Even though I know she's crazy, I lived with her for a couple of years. I should know by now not to go up and talk to her. See, right there, it happens a second later. He knew he wasn't supposed to talk to her. But for the sake of the story, he has to go talk to her. And then, what's with this face before? You look a little too calm right there, my boy. And then they got a knife right there to his neck. And then he said, what's up with the defense? You lived with her for like years. You should know who her character is. You lived with Russia, you lived with her, you lived with Ukraine. You should know what her character is by now. But for the sake of this manga, he doesn't. He forgot. It doesn't matter. And then, oh, look at this. It's Prussia's fault. He made Russia cry. I'll give the manga props. If someone else said this, I'll feel mad. But you know, Belarus only cares about Russia. So I'll give the manga props for making her the one who said that. Because that's all she cares about. I don't know. And Prussia calls her pretty. Such a waste. Prussia would never call another woman pretty. He's a virgin. We know that. He's too shy for that stuff. He's more often to call someone annoying than pretty. And then, we go to this conversation to make us feel bad for Russia. And then, they talk. And then you don't seem energetic either. Because, she's Belarus. What are you talking about? She's not supposed to be energetic. The only thing she likes is staring at TVs, moving around, and doing fortune telling. None of whatever this is. And anything involving Russia. And then Russia doesn't be doing good. They say he's sick. Belarus like saying, you're the only one who knows. That makes you special. Look at this background. And then Prussia feels like he's special when I touched him. And then when we did that, you gotta say stuff like that in front of Belarus? You think she's gonna be okay with that? For the sake of the manga, we gotta show that again. And we gotta cut out his death scene too. Why would you say that? And then he gotta cover his pretend like he didn't say that out loud. And then she's like, everyone's gone. Feel bad for Russia. He's all by himself. And then why is this happening? Prussia would never, Belarus would never let him do that. His head would be on the floor. It's not like Belarus can't have a conversation with someone. But it's like she's written too timidly, even for like a crazy yandere type character. And then everyone's sick. They got the fever. And then she's like, take care of Russia for me. That would never happen. Belarus is the one that's gonna make him better. Russia, she views herself as the one who will make Russia happy. So this will never happen. Okay. Even if you beg me to. He's gonna refuse at first, but she's gonna be like, you're the only one who can cure his heart and make him normal. And then, why you ask me about him? Why are you concerned that someone else was sick? And then, why you ask? Yeah, why did you ask, Prussia? We know why he asked, but we're gonna pretend like we don't know. And then, he feels bad. He's happy with Germany, or so he says. She's gonna confront herself with his affairs. Normally these type of stories, I'll be fine with that. Like, whatever, they're just for a heart. Yonder's what the heart wants. But I don't know. I haven't seen anything that's of their time together. At least in this story. Well, the next one we see their time together, and it's like, why did you want to go back there? I understood why you hated him in the first place. We'll see. They're okay. They're all drinking. They're having fun. They're teasing him like, "Why are you talking to Belarus?" And they're treating it like it's a game, but that would be life and death. Okay. And then they're all drinking. Their confidence. And then they bring up Russia. Everyone's like pretending like they never talked to him. But everyone is suspicious of Russia, but have you noticed that they still talk to him? They still let him in the group, even though they're scared of him. America especially. I can understand Spain, but France, one of the characters who'd always make sure that everyone's included in the conversation, would not be bad-mouthing Russia like this, okay? And then Prussia got kidnapped. We know that. His life was made a living hell. We know that. But we're going to trivialize that. We're going to forget about that. Okay? We need to get these two together. It doesn't match. We're going to force it together. And then Germany was worried. But Prussia's not listening to this. He doesn't care about his brother being worried. He doesn't care about his friends or glad he's alive. Everyone looks at him. Look at this. Look at this. Everyone's looking at him. And he's crying. He's crying about not being made a fool of and being abused in our word. He's crying about it. And we're like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, yeah, what is wrong with you? And then we go to say, even under the R words, there was love. And then, no, right here. Lithuania, Russia would not be in the same scene together. Lithuania would not be this carefree in front of Russia. And look at this. I can see them doing this. What is this? Give him a sunflower? And what are you laughing about? Okay? Like you could forget about that after... You basically told us at the beginning of the story that he was R-word, and he was traumatized by it, but we're supposed to forgive that because he used the backside of his hand, the palm side, for a few occasions. And then ever he leaves, he makes a joke. The child, I guess he is supposed to be older than Russia in the story. I don't understand. Is there a way to excuse all the things Russia done? And then Italy, why is Italy like that? It's like he's been rejected. I don't know. Okay, let's keep it going. Okay, Russia's dead. He's dying. He's of a cough. Whenever nations are coughing, they're usually like about to die or they're in a financial crisis. And they're sluggish. He doesn't carry over the dude. He's crying about how he R-word someone and he's not being forgiven. And a reference to the show. Congratulations for watching the show. Too bad you turned it off afterwards. No, you didn't even turn it off. You just stopped after the anime. You was like, there's nothing more to be learned here. Belarus? No. It's worse than that. It's RusPrus. And then, he's the concerned Tundere character. Gonna yell at him to be sick, and he's like, why are you coming in? Why are you taking care of me? What are you doing here? And then, he's got the, sick stuff, and, it's whole manga. You didn't say this once. Okay. Keep it going. And then he's like, why'd you come out here? I'm not your business anymore. I R-word you. You should be fine. And he's like, I do what I want to do. Stupid stuff. And then it's like, he's shocked by this. And then we gotta keep it going. This ridiculousness. And he's like, I choose to talk to who I want to. Even people who R-word me. And I cry about it. And I get traumatized. I think I stare into space about it. I'm truly affected about it. But the story has to continue. The story needs to make sense. So I'm coming back to take care of you. And then they got a hug scene. And then he's supposed to be like, you. What am I supposed to do with you? After all, they're going crying. And then some stuff is about to happen. I can tell. There's a bed in there. I already knew that was going to happen. And then they get confessed to their feelings. And then, what's this? Prussia kisses Russia on the head. You know what that means. Something that needs to be censored. Because, oh my god. Could it be the C word? Consensual? Like, after all this stuff you've done, now you want to do consensual stuff? Let me get ready for this. And then next scene, they're like having, I guess, a good time. Because they now remember that, oh yeah, you can do stuff like that. And it can be consensual. And I'm like, I knew that since the beginning of that, since I read this story. You're not teaching me anything new, story. I'm just upset that it took you, like, I guess 70 years? He was taken at 1949. About at least 40 years to know that you're not supposed to R-word someone to show your affection. And then in this scene, they're showing that Prussia wants it, and Russia is surprised that someone wants it. I'm like, what? Isn't this what you wanted? No, you just wanted to be tied up or whatever? But no, this supposed to be a shock. It's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, yeah, why are you doing this? And then, I don't know, Prussia's made to feel bad that he wants to have consensual sex. Like, do you want consent or not? Make up your mind. So we're doing this, and then he's like, just shut up and do it. And then Prussia is like calling. And then I don't know where this idea popped up in his head. But Russia was like, it's time. Something so warm. And he's like, oh, getting all teary-eyed. He's getting emotional. And then we got he's like, something like this. And then we get this picture. And he completely forgot what a normal relationship is. Like, even though you can't be all mine, you can't spoil me, no strength, whatever. Nothing to force you to stay here, but I don't know how to do consensual stuff. He's basically telling the audience, what is consent? I don't know, man. You're the boss, man. Do whatever you want. And then Prussia fell asleep. That's sweet. That's cute. About to get ruined in a second, but it's cute. He's asleep. And they're so in love. He's like, I never experienced it. Are you a Maria? Are you being like the Saint Maria? I wouldn't, just because he slept over? But then Prussia gets a phone call. Yeah, this is where it starts. Prussia gets a phone call. And Russia's like, how dare he interrupts my moment. So Prussia gets a phone call. And it's from his brother. So of course he's going to want to answer it. He's going to talk it. And then everyone's like, where are you? And that's just too much for Russia. Because Russia, he doesn't like that. Like, why, how dare you take a call from your brother? Only talk to me, no one else. Because that's cute. When a boy stares at you when you're talking to your brother and you're talking about your friends, he stares at you like, get off the phone. Because you can't do anything like that. And then he pulls them, and then basically he didn't learn what consent means. Because why should he? Why should I have to suffer for this man's sins? Okay, so Russia is like, Prussia cannot have a social life. So I'm just gonna end it. And then while he's on the phone, Russia decides that that's the time to fill him up. That's the time for them to have their consensual, even though it's not consensual anymore. And then Germany asks on the phone what's going on, and Prussia could basically just say Russia's assaulting him. But no, he's like Russia says hang up the phone so I can finish assaulting you. And then Prussia's like, that's too embarrassing to tell my brother I need help. You know, that's a cute trait. He's so stubborn he won't tell his brother that he's being attacked right now. But they're in love, so it's okay. And so they keep going, and then Russia tells them, if you don't hang up the phone, I'm gonna do something, and your brother's gonna hear it. And then Prussia's like, I don't want my brother to hear it. And then everyone's like, come over, Prussia, is there something that you're not telling us? And then Prussia's like, no. And he just hangs up the phone. And I'm like, is that supposed to be a cute moment? What are you trying to tell me, story? And then, yeah, it's supposed to be a cute moment because we get this little scene afterwards where it's like, don't do that again. And then Russia's like, but I wanted to because you were on the phone. I was like, and then he's like, he didn't want to let him go. And I was like, I guess that was supposed to be a funny moment. He can't talk to his brother. You can't do that consensual stuff like afterwards. And then, yeah, he's pushing them back. They're having a cute moment. It's supposed to be a cute, they're like, he's supposed to be sick. He's supposed to care for him, even though he just messed up a phone call with his brother. And then Prussia's immediately gonna, Prussia's a little bit too nice in this. You know, because Prussia's Prussia's a nice guy, but he's kind of annoying. He's very self-centered. He doesn't realize when he's causing a bad problem unless he's doing it intentionally. He's not like a bad guy, but he wouldn't be this concerned for someone unless they were his brother or Italy. So for some reason, Prussia's a little bit too nice here. He's not gonna tell his brother that Russia's attacking him because that'd be too scary. Even though Prussia in the story probably would run to his brother for support, like he does in the original story, to get away from Russia. And then he's all blushing, they're all happy. And then they look at each other, they look in the eyes. And then he says he's gonna go. And then it's cut off. But Russia's like, why are you trying to leave? And then he's like, I just got a call. And he's like, no, I don't care what you got. You're not going nowhere. And then Prussia looks confused for a second, like, I thought we made up, I thought we were friends or something. But no, they didn't get to draw all of the scenes they wanted to draw, so they gotta draw something. They want to draw, they want to have a free-for-all, they want to make my life torture, because I gotta figure out, what is the story trying to tell me at this point? That he wants to have a normal relationship with Prussia, but Prussia can't have a normal relationship with anyone else? And then he gives this sympathetic look. Like, why are you doing this to me, Prussia? I'm like, Prussia, he didn't do anything, he wanted to go home. He wanted to go see his brother called, he wanted to go see his brother. In these kind of stories, that'd be fine. That'd be like a nice twist. I was gonna go to see my brother. Whatever. I ended up banging this guy. But no, it's like, how dare you want to do stuff that doesn't have anything to do with me? So I'm basically gonna torture you. Not torture you, but attack you. Even though you told me no. And he says, if you do this, you better apologize. Like, apologies are gonna make it okay? Is that what you're telling me? No, I hope not. And then, Prussia basically tells him, in this scene right here, let me move this dog, that he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't feel comfortable doing it with him. He just said he doesn't want to do it. He probably has a traumatic experience from the last time. But, Russia said it's fine because, they did it in the past, even though Prussia doesn't want to do it. He's, literally crying tears. But, that's cute. That's okay. That's fine. And then, like, Prussia says something that's very weird. He says, this time is different. This time you're not assaulting me. I'm like, it's clearly the same. You didn't want to be there. You wanted to leave. He basically said you were free to go, but then he changed his mind when he realized you were going to see your brother. So, it's the same. It's just a different context. And then Russia doesn't care that Prussia's basically crying. He basically tells him, it's alright. I'm glad you feel that way. That's not what Prussia meant. Kinda. But, whatever. They end up having their times. This isn't big enough for how many times they have. And then it's like whatever, you draw the pages, like, I don't know, in BL, sometimes you skip the story just so you see what they draw, because that's what the author wanted. They wanted to get to these parts. The story doesn't make any sense, but, you gotta read the sex scene, because that's what the author wanted. And then, basically, Russia's saying this is the best thing of his life, and then, Prussia saying it hurts. And then, no, it's comedy. And they keep going, romantic now. And then they're talking about foreplay. I was like, I don't know. Do you even know how to do foreplay? You've both just been, like, attacking each other this entire time. Is that foreplay for you? And then, basically, Russia says, yes, it's the same. Because, he, feels good afterwards. And then I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. But I guess you guys are together, you know. Do you? And then Prussia says no, but you know, Russia has the right away. He's in the right. Whatever he says, he's in the right. And then we gotta keep going with this. They're having fun. Oh, Russia's having fun, but Prussia, he'll have to be forced to have fun. He'll have fun. Don't worry about it. And then they keep going, and then Prussia's upset that he feels like a normal relationship. I'm like, dude, you came over there. Make up your mind. Do you want to be in a relationship with Russia, or do you hate him? You can't go over his house and then try to leave and then act surprised when he does the thing he's been doing for like 40 years. And then they're doing their thing. The author's getting a lot of pages here. Basically, pages, and then, basically foreplay, they're going. And then, Prussia begs him to stop, and then Russia thinks that's cute, so he keeps going. And then, they're just going, and then, the author's really getting his pages, and then, Russia, this is the thing about Russia in these scenes, while I'm skipping over these, Russia is not a really sexual character, so it's weird to see him in these positions, and it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I can see him as a character who will eventually do something like that, but he's not very experienced with stuff like, I can see France doing these stuff, not Russia. So, I don't understand this, well, he's a semi-character, so he has to be good at it, so it has to make sense. He's always on the right, even though he shouldn't know how to do this. But, you know what? He's the top character. And then we gotta, okay, well, the scene's over. The author had their fun. Okay. Basically, Russia's like, no, I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna have fun. And Russia's like, no. Normally I wouldn't show this scene, because it's basically over. The manga's basically over. But then there's a scene coming up that pretty much tells me what the author had in mind with the story. So he remembered he gotta go to a party. Russia's upset. And then, what's this? Prussia can't walk because they did it so much. And then Russia is so callous because that's his character type now. That's not who he is, but he's for the sake of the story. That's his character. Okay. And then Prussia says this. And then Russia, he says that. We already know what's gonna happen. He said before he didn't mind he was free, but no, it doesn't work like that in this kind of a story. No, it doesn't work. And then he wanted to see Italy. He says that, and later he asks Russia for help. And then Russia's like, no, this is an opportunity. He sees an opportunity. And then Prussia's like, can I go to the bath? And then Russia's gonna be like, no, it doesn't work like that. No, it puts him right back on the bed because you know what? Why should he listen to Prussia when he could do whatever he wants? And then Prussia's shocked because why not be shocked? This happened before, it just happened now. And then basically whatever happens because Prussia wants to do this. And that's the way it's gonna go. And then look at the look of terror. Let me move that eye. Look of terror in Prussia's eye when he realizes what's gonna happen. It's supposed to be a terror in a comedic way, or like a funny way, but no, that's terror. I wanted to go take a bath. No, you can't do that. I can't walk either. The beginning of the story just reset it. And then, basically this. Because I thought one sex scene was enough. No. It's not gonna happen like that. No. The author had lots of pages. She's gonna write all of them. She wants to see, Russia take advantage of, did I say Prussia or Russia? It doesn't matter. Okay. They're not the same. She wants to see Russia take advantage of Prussia. Again. I was like, oh, that's the fetish. That's the fetish for the story, okay? I got it. After you get it, you won't be mad anymore. Because you're like, oh, nope, that's the fetish. I can't get mad at a fetish. Fetish are uncontrollable. You get mad at the story? No. There's no need to get mad. That's the fetish. You can't get mad at the fetish. You can control a fetish. The fetish is basically Russia being taken against his will. Repeatedly. Because you can't get mad at the fetish. You can't get mad at someone for like drawing what they want to draw. Even though Prussia's crying in tears. He said he wanted to take a bath. He wanted to go see Italy, but that's not the story. And then they're having a good time. And then Prussia basically asks why it had to happen, why they gotta get in this situation. Well, the author wanted it to happen. She's into that. She's into that. And then the story's, I guess, winding down. Because the author realized she may be done drawing this pairing. So she wanted to draw one more scene. And then they got together. They hooked up. It's like, okay, I'm right there. Okay. And then they got together. They're like upset. He's upset he couldn't go do what he wanted to do. Russia's like, isn't it great? And Prussia's like, he has no free will. He even says it right here. There's nothing good for having him around. Which normally that'd be a cute thing. Anime's in like that. Someone said, I can't believe that this guy's doing this to me. The story would end, it'd be comedic. But then, but this one is like, yeah, why did you come back if this is what you truly believe? And then Russia's playing this is type. He's being the sime, a little bit too aggressive. And then He's like all cutie stuff. But you all suave and handsome. Even though that wouldn't work in the original story. Prussia's upset, but he's gonna only be upset because that's the way the story told him to act. He's gonna be upset because he's supposed to be upset in this scene. Because the characters in this scene, they're upset to hide their embarrassment. And then Russia's like, why are you upset? But he's like, I'm so uncool when he's around. I'm like, oh, you remembered you were writing the character Prussia? That's like a shocker. Okay. You watched the show, you came back, after you turned it off, you turned it back on and remembered, oh, Prussia's not talking about how cool he needs to be. I'll fix that up right now. And this one, he says he's talking about how he's suffering, but you know, for this story, that's supposed to be, how much they're so troublesome. He's so lovable. He's just so troublesome. And he's like, oh, I had to do that to you twice against your will because you would have left. And like, yeah, you're not helping your case. And he says, look, right here, I don't have any other ways to stop you. And that's supposed to be funny. That's supposed to justify this whole thing. Like, oh. And he's like, if I let you go, I don't know when I'm going to meet you again. Oh my god, are you serious? It's like, and he says it right here, you can just call me. And it's like, you guys couldn't have talked about this before you assaulted him like twice? And it's like, why are you together? You just cause nothing but pain for each other. So they like, they fight, and like, he's like, even if you love me, you can't do stuff like that. And then, you can't abandon me, you can't rule over me. And then he's like, look at those blush marks. And it's like, I didn't want to see you. And like, no. I didn't want to see you because you took advantage of me. And he's like, you look so much happier. Like, yeah, I was with my brother who didn't take advantage of me when I went over to his house. Okay? And they're supposed to be like, they look so much happier. Feel bad for Russia. Everyone's upset that Russia does scary things. The part of Russia's character is that he does scary things and the people avoid him, but he's still likable. And this isn't making Russia look very likable. And then, how long does the author want to convey the story of how unlikable Russia is? And then we do stuff like this, like, he didn't have any power to stop him, but he stopped him like twice. And he's supposed to be sick earlier. And then, either why did you show up to the meeting at your house? And then the Prussia was like, I guess this means something. I'm like, it was a meeting at your house. I bet Prussia probably wouldn't have come in the story, but I could see him also coming just to come hang out with Italy. It's not that shocking that he would go to a meeting. But no, this is a revelation that Prussia came because he wanted to go with Russia. And then he got the blush marks, and then he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand these feelings he's having. They're too complex for him to understand. Russia, Prussia, they don't understand each other. This is the story. But no. The story was that the author wanted these two to get together in a situation where Russia took advantage of Prussia. But she doesn't want to say that, so she gotta put this under it. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense, because I feel like this story came afterwards. Then Prussia's crying, because he wondered why no one feels bad. No one's watching him, no one feels bad, no one cares. And then that's like, yeah, I don't care, because any potential for me caring in the story dropped when you took advantage of Prussia, not the one time, but twice. And sister, you've been getting together for like 30 minutes. And that was your first thought is what to do with Prussia, is to take advantage of him twice. Keep this going. But that's fine. It's okay, because in this story, Russia is supposed to be the hot one. He gets to get excused with all that kind of stuff. Prussia has to just deal with it. He's against it, but he's got to learn to deal with it. And then like they're talking about next time we meet, they're gonna be friends, they're gonna be together. And then Russia's like, I'm so glad that we're together now. And I'm like, okay. And then there's this scene that's like, you guys made up, I guess. This is like after the story. And then Germany walks in. Russia didn't wake up Prussia to tell him. Germany walks in. And Russia has no... He wants Germany to see his brother in bed with him. And it's not my interpretation. Germany walks in. And then Prussia asks him specifically, don't tell him I'm here. But you know in the story, that's not gonna happen. Because Russia wants to tell everybody. Russia wants to do things his way. Look at this hope. It's about to be crushed. Look at this towel wrap. What is this? Okay, Germany walks in. Looking almost close to his original design. Closer than Prussia, at least. Okay. So, Russia comes out, and he asks, did his brother come? He coughs. Like he knows, but he's trying to be discreet about it. And then Russia says, he came over. And then Prussia exposes himself. And then Germany's like, he's cool with it. I'm like, he seems healthy. Are you serious? And then I'm like, Russia's like surprised that he thought this would happen. I'm like, why? Because they were together for 40 years and he took advantage of him. It's expected. Okay. So he's like, make sure he gets breakfast. Make some eggs. And then Russia's like, work? I don't want to work. No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't say that. But he's basically like, okay. But, he's like, Germany. How did you know? I'm like, Germany and the author have been together since the beginning. She's basically the author's avatar. And then he's like, he came home. He's been watching him every day. That's how I know. That he misses you. And he tells him that he's sick. And then this is Russia, like, you guys really are brothers. You care about me. I'm like, go die of your flu. Leave us alone. And then Prussia's upset that he told Germany. And then Russia's like, yeah, all the times I took advantage for you, you remember it fondly, so it's fine, right? And then Prussia doesn't say yes or no. And then he's like, how could I forget? It's all precious to me. I'm like, what is your deal, dude? I'm having too many mood swings, and you gotta slow it down. So, like, basically, it all meant something. I don't know, for the bonuses. And then that's how it ends. Oh. What is this? Oh yeah, bonus. The bonus story that basically Russia wants to give Prussia something after taking advantage of him. He wants to treat him like a wife. Oh, how sweet. And then he gives him a ring. He looks for it. Wait, where did you find it? You found it in the garbage? And you're not going to give it to Prussia? And look right there. So casual about it. Oh, look at that. So casual. And then he hides it because I gotta suffer. As he pretends this cutesy talk. And he says to me, what is it? Look at his tone. He's so annoyed. He's like, why are you talking to me? I was like, what is your mood? What is your deal? What do you want, Prussia? Tell me what you want. Okay? And so they're basically like getting married at this point. Look at his face. Like, did he just do that to me? Okay. And then now he's embarrassed. Like, what's this? A ring. Because I heard you're going back after I assaulted you. It's tragic times. And then Prussia is shocked by this. Because he didn't tell him that he was basically free. And look how happy he is. Is this for real? You didn't tell him. Because you were trying to like keep him in this state of doing whatever you want. But now that you basically told him that he's free, look at what you've done to him. He wants to be free. He wants to go. And then he's crying about it. Even though I doubt Prussia will cry in front of Russia about this. But he's crying about it. And then Russia is basically upset that Prussia wants to go home. What did you think this was? And then he's like, how of course he wants to go home. I'm like, yeah, I want to go home. After being forced to leave home. And then he said he refers to it. And he said, I'll take it as a gift. You know what? Whatever. But that's not enough for Russia. That's not enough. He wants it all. Okay? He wants it all. And then we're supposed to feel bad for Russia. Look at them two brothers hugging. We're supposed to feel bad for Russia in this situation. And then look, he's contemplating going back because why? He wants to turn around and say goodbye. But look at that. Russia already left. So tragic. And do you remember me? I remember you, unfortunately. Okay? And I get to make out as tears because this is all the people want. They want the art. And it's going. Surprisingly though, this is not the last one. Because why? This is the last chapter for this one. But it got so popular, she made another one, which is darker than this one. I'm like, what are you trying to do to me? Are you trying to torture me? Okay, so let's see what we got here. We gotta open the paint. We got here. She makes one of them. It's like a cute clothes story. It's all cute and stuff. She makes the second one. I die inside. She makes the third one. It's the last one. I give her that. But afterwards, I'm looking for God, because where is he? I don't know, man. He's somewhere. And so the comments are like, this is the best. Yep. This is the one. The worst one. And then he's all like, this is the worst one. Part 4? Are you serious? I doubt there's one I missed. Yeah, Russia, no, this is the one. It ruins everything. It ruins RusPrus and complete. No, there is only 3. I think it's in the story. Okay. How many pages are this? Okay. This is pages. Oh my god, I gotta speed read this. Okay. And so, and, nothing but filler. Oh, good night. What am I doing? I'm up at night reading RusPrus. But this is the final one. This is the one that ends it all. This is the one that traumatized me. That's like basically, it's the one. I wouldn't blame you guys for wanting to ditch out now because this is basically the one. Okay, let's go. So basically, Russia is introducing Prussia into the house. Like this. Notice the art style. It's very bizarre. And the Baltic brothers are out of place. They're just a trio now. So they're all like, Russia brought back home a new country. Prussia's a little bit too happy about looking at stuff in the mirror. And I was like, oh, this must be an AU thing. No. He changed his whole personality like the next page. He doesn't even have the ears on. But no. As soon as he notices the sisters, whatever that was comes to an end. And then Prussia is like staring at their boobs. Because, that's an obvious joke. And then Belarus is like, why does my brother like you? I was like, he just came. And he's like, he likes me? And, he said something stupid. Because, Prussia would say something just like this. But, no. No. Okay. And it says they just don't go along with each other. And then Russia comes out of nowhere. Because right now, the accents right now, they're very cutesy accents. They're very cutesy. You don't know what the story is setting up. Because it's so cutesy. Okay, so right now it starts off simple. He's like hiding behind Prussia from Belarus. They're cuddling, they're friends, they're whatever. And then they're like hiding from Belarus. And then they gotta like Belarus comes in, she's looking for him. And then they did at the scene right here. Look at this scene. This is a very cute scene. Nothing happened at first. And then Russia gets the idea that he has to do something in this cramped space. Look at that eyes. He knows. And then, Prussia immediately knows something about to happen because I know. And I read it 3 times. I'm like, are you serious? Okay, so they're making out. They're doing that. They're doing the thing. And then they're under the desk. That's erotic. That's hot. That's teacher on teacher. But okay. We're doing that. And then Prussia acts surprised. Because they were like tongue kissing for like a second. But he acts surprised when Russia does it. And he's happy about it. Oh my god. But that's the type of story they're trying to tell. And then he doing this again. Acting like Russia is not a virgin. I'm like, dude. Russia is definitely a virgin. What are you telling me right now? A story? So even the story acknowledges this. But what we gotta see later, I don't think the story cares about this kind of stuff. Or what it does later. He says it right here. And then there's gonna be a scene later that make you wish you never heard it. Okay. And then he basically asks Kenny take advantage of him. That's a cute scene. And then Prussia says no. But Russia gets his way, so it keeps going. Oh, it's interrupted. Thank God Belarus was there and saved the day. And then that scene ends. Oh, because that was only the preset for what's going to happen in the next scene. Okay. Because it's not over yet. Look at this cute stuff. It's all cute right now. It's all cute and nice. But then there's a world meeting at Germany's house, okay? Keep note. Because 3 makes you wish for death. Because 3 is what you thought the first 2 were gonna be. And 3 also splits off into an alternate universe where 2 didn't happen. It goes off for a future in which World War II continues. Wonder what I think this? The scene at the end makes me confused about what they're trying to tell me. Okay. And basically, there's gonna be a world meeting at Germany's house. And which one was it? This one. Okay. Everyone's going. Everyone's name's gonna be popping. My name is your knight. It starts. And then Russia knows that Prussia will be happy about this. He knows he'll be happy about this. Yet he offers for Prussia to come. Because he's gonna be upset later that Prussia was happy to go. He even asks himself, why did I say that? Why did I ask him to go? I'm gonna go for some reason. Prussia looks a little too stoic here. He looks too professional here. Like, who is he? Look at Russia too. Who is Russia? He's not big enough. His hair is not right. It's too long. The scarf is wrong. The vest is wrong. What is this? Who dressed you? Okay, brother. Who dressed you? They don't know how to dress these characters. Okay. So, they're like watching. He's watching him. He turns so he can go talk to his brother. Oh my god. How dare he? He's just staring at them all night, okay? He's just staring. Just staring at him. And then they're like saying you lost weight. And that's just too much for Russia. He's like, don't ask him anything. And Prussia's like, what's going on here? Germany's like scared. Like, he can't do anything. He's working under America and England right now. He's trying to be on his best behavior. He's like, don't ask him anything about his health. Okay? Prussia's freaked out. Oh, Germany's freaked out, but Prussia's not freaked out enough. And then Prussia's having a good time. Russia's over there seething in the back right now. Like, how dare he? Have fun at the place I invited him to. He's only supposed to be miserable when he comes with me. And so they're hanging out, they're having a good time. And then Russia decides, it's never gonna meant to be. We'll never be happy together. You'll never smile at me like that. I'm like, it took you long enough to figure that out, okay? And then they come back. It's like, it's snowing. Everything's harsh. It's like, they just came back. And it's like, Russia's like all smiley. But it's like, you'd rather be at Germany's house, wouldn't you? And then Prussia's like, basically, yeah, they got beer, it's hot and stuff. And Russia's like, upset. It's like, you asked, okay? Don't be upset because he answered your question. How dare he be happy? How dare he answer the questions I give? This would be fine if the story was trying to say that his anger wasn't justified. But later on, it's like, how dare he upset Russia? How dare he have a good time? Like, the story wants to side with... It sides with Russia because you get his point of view. Look at this. You get his point of view. Then he's upset at Prussia, breaks the beer, and Prussia's like, why you do that? And then Russia got this look in his eye. He's gonna do something. He's gonna do something. And then he's upset. It says vodka is better than this. And then Prussia knows something's coming. Like, does he know something's coming? Look at flinch. He knows something's gonna come in. You're like, you shouldn't smile. You shouldn't do any of that if I'm not involved in it. And he's like, I'm gonna make you suffer forever thinking of having a good time. And then, in the other story, he was like, I'm gonna take advantage of you because you work under me. I'm like, that was one thing. What universe is this? He gave him a red wedding ring in the last one. This is made by the same author. Is this a different universe? And then he's like saying he can't be happy. He should be miserable. He shouldn't adapt. He shouldn't learn anything. He said, just belong to me. Basically does it on the couch. And Prussia's like, what's with you? That's all he asks. He says, what's wrong? What's going on? Russia's like, no. I'm just going to teach you a lesson. It doesn't have to make sense. I'm just going to teach you a lesson. It's only for the authors. It's for the author. It's for the viewers. It's not even for them. Usually in these kind of scenes, there'll be pages of the act going on. But this one, Prussia is like confused. Russia holds him back. And then Russia basically threatens him by saying he's weaker. He can't fight him back. He's upset. He's gonna make him torture. And then they're doing this. Usually in these scenes the pages go on forever, but no. They're over here trying to make us feel bad for Russia. It ends in one page. Half a page. Because I guess the author knew at this point, that wasn't okay. She shouldn't have drawn that. So I don't even need this, because she already censored it. Because she knew she didn't have drawn it, but she drew it anyway. To show that it happened. Because maybe in her head, she thought they wouldn't have banged otherwise unless it happened. Okay. I see. That happens in a lot of these types of story. Okay. So he does that. Basically clipping Prussia's wings. Prussia wakes up. We see he's been tied. He's been bandaged. His clothes have been taken off against his will. Somehow, based on what happened, his pants should not be on, okay? And so he pulls and sees he's bound. And he has a very laid-back reaction when he sees it. Look, he says, are you serious? That's it. You've been attacked against your will. And left bandaged in a mess. And that's all you can say. Another sin. Russia. Lithuania. They're not. No, they don't talk like this. No. They're too casual. They're too friendly. Nope. They're too nice to each other. And Lithuania basically shouldn't even be here. Prussia is taking his role. So what's the point of him being here? And then there's a little joke right there. And then Lithuania said breakfast is ready, but would Lithuania even tell Prussia that breakfast is ready? And then Prussia asks, where's Russia? And then Lithuania has a rational response that says, Russia? Why do you want to know where he is? Everyone's shaking. And then they said they'd rather eat when he's not there. Typical Hetalia stuff. Don't get too close to him. He'll give you orders. He's too scary. But not Prussia. Nuh-uh. Prussia's a gentle soul. He's gonna talk to Russia. God. And then he's gonna talk to him. He's gonna cure everything. And basically, they're gonna be friends. No, they're not gonna be friends. What am I saying? Of course they're gonna be more, because that's what the author wants. So, Prussia goes and sees Russia. He talks to him. And Prussia's like, why are you here? After what I did last night. And then Prussia's like, taking it all in stride and stuff. He's like, oh, it didn't mean that much. I'm like, okay. And then we see this. What's this? And then, basically, he wanted to stab an axe into Prussia. Look at this. An axe, nails, and a twig. And that was supposed to be Prussia. What are you trying to tell? Yes. What do you want to stab him in the head after you assaulted him? Why? Then you ask why is your house so cold? Maybe because you're a monster, especially in this story. And then he talks about how he wants the place where flowers bloom. And I'm like, okay, that's for Canada and Russia, but this Russia showed no signs of that. He was like saying suffer. If you're happy somewhere else, you need to suffer. And I'm like, this is stuff from Canada and Russia. Then they're all like, they distance and suffer. Of course, you took their land, okay? You ordered them around, you bossed them around. And then he's like, even Prussia hates me. But Prussia gotta like, he doesn't hate him. Oh no, he can't hate him any more than he already does. So, he cannot hate him anymore. And even after what he did last night, he basically assaulted him. Prussia doesn't hate him anymore. He's like, I already hate you the most. And then Russia's like looking up like, this man. And I'm like, this story. And so he's like, we're going home. And I'm like, okay, cause look, we're making Russia the hero. He's the hero we don't deserve, okay? And then Prussia says he asks if he thinks he's scary, and then Prussia's like, don't say it. And then Russia says he basically did it on purpose. He assaulted him to make him scared. And then Russia says, don't talk about it. Because it doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't matter. Why'd you put it in the story? Couldn't it have been like something like smaller? But no, they needed a sex scene, but they didn't. Usually in those type of scenes, they add more pages, but they skipped the page because they knew it was a horrible scene to show. He's trying to make them scared. Russia said, don't talk about it. But they want us to feel bad for Russia. And then they make these jokes like, oh my god, I can't believe I wouldn't be scared by you. It doesn't work like that, okay? Don't speak down to me, manga, okay? So, he's having fun, they're having fun, they're joking, they're laughing, it's like, Serge, you're right. It's like, okay, I see what you're trying to do here. Trying to make a fool of me, huh, manga? And you think the manga's almost over? No. The suffering is halfway over. Okay, they come in, and then they see the dining room's empty, and he says everyone leaves when he comes in. Prussia is scared to be eaten alone with him, but he does it anyway because that's moe moe. That's cute, you know? And then, you're like, why are you doing? I'm eating with you. And then Russia's like, what? How dare you? And it's like, looking at him, like, why would anyone eat with me? And then he's like, I can eat because I moved around last night. They're making jokes about it, okay? Was it serious or was it not serious? Tone is important, people. Okay, let's go. And we open this, and then, oh my god, they're doing stuff on the table. You were just gonna eat there. I don't want to be one of those people, but what's the point of doing it like that if you just had food on the table just a second ago? Isn't it gonna get in the way? And they make their little jokes, and then basically they setting up a scene for consensual sex here, but Prussia clearly says he doesn't want to do it. And then Russia basically says, are you too scared to do it? And then Russia had, Prussia be a Prussia. It's not going to say he's scared. So he has to put up with it. And then they just do their thing. And then they make the jokes of that he's a virgin. And then why is it Russia a virgin? Because that doesn't fit the narrative that they're trying to tell us, I guess. The narrative is that Russia is cool. He's right. He's correct. And him being a virgin wouldn't match that up. Well, instead, make him seem a little bit too like Prussia. And like, what is this guy talking about? Being gentle. He never done it before. But no, Russia has to be a god. And everything. He has to be right. And then Prussia has to be the one who learns to deal with it. And they basically, they're doing their stuff on the table. They're having fun. And then Prussia's like, it's okay because it doesn't hurt. I want it to hurt because I don't want to be treated softly. I'm like, okay. And then, they make a joke about Ukraine's boobs because, comedy. Okay. Do you, I guess. So things are heating up. And then, they're over there having a good time. And then he's like, I wonder what Germany would do. Germany would be fine with it. You wrote the, we saw how Germany reacted. And he's like, why would Germany get angry? And then Russia's like, want to find out. It's like, why is Russia this smooth a talker? Is that Russia's character? I don't think so. And then they're basically having a good time, but then they're getting into it. And then, going into the, like, Russia's like, it's okay to want something, a real relationship with Prussia after I forced him last night. I'm like, what universe is this? Weren't you two like already in a relationship? That's why I said this is from an alternate universe. Where World War III is still going because of the ending of this. The ending of this implies that they're going to be together forever. Then like, is this not the continuation? Okay, we'll see in a second. But they're like, oh, they're into it and stuff. This is what the author wanted to draw. There's pages and pages of this. Why wasn't this the scene instead of the other scene with the R word? I'll tell you why. It adds depth to the character. And then they're like, they're getting close. They're all hugging and stuff. Prussia's like, he would never hug me. I'm not showing it to you because they're still on the table. Use your imagination. And then the door opens. Up. Look at the door opens. And it's only one option because there's been only one other character in the story. Russia's shocked. Oh, look at that, Lithuania. What? Okay. And then he said he's sorry to disturb them, but he's a little too calm right here. I can understand him being calm with Russia. But he's a little too calm. Telling Russia this after seeing what he's doing. And he's like, why are you two having a normal conversation? I'm like, well, that's the author's, she thinks she's funny. She wants to be a comedian when she goes up. Okay, so they're like talking. And Russia's like, why are you talking? While I'm naked over here. And then Lithuania leaves. And then Russia basically tricked him into doing it. And then it's like, they're working, all that going on. And like, can you put a lock on the door? And then they make a joke, haha, it's all comical. It's like, get back to work. You know what kind of manga this is. And like, why are you getting mad? It's like, nobody gets mad over something like this. And like, why would you say it like that? Are you trying to like lead him on, give him an excuse? Okay, I see where you're going. Alright. Basically doing along with garbage. And then he's thinking, look, he's having thoughts. Like, is there another girl? Another guy? Ooh, put it in another comic. Put it in another comic, not this one. Let's see. So it's like, hurry up and finish. But Prussia's like, I don't want to, because, he doesn't know why. Can I show this? Okay, he doesn't know why. You're the one, no one else to notice. And then, Russia's like, what's going on? I'm like, what's going on too? And then Prussia's like, I never knew I have any feelings towards Russia. I'm like, I've been reading this comic. I didn't know that either. From the way it described it. It was talking about Russia developing feelings for you. But I'm like, this is a story, this is a style. The author wants to put some drama in. I was like, put that in for your other comic. And he's like, he feels like a fool because he is at this point, and he's crying in his short shorts, and Russia's just staring at him like he's getting a look, he's getting his own, he's getting his looks, he's getting his style, and then basically Lithuania spots him out there. I guess thinking about him, at least earlier. Okay, they're talking normally for some reason. Okay, I'll just ignore that. Okay, because I'll ignore it for the sake of the story. The Lithuania is a little too shy though, and then he's like, I didn't know you were Russia's lover, and the real Lithuania wouldn't be shocked. He would, of course, Prussia. But no, he needs someone to be react so he can clear this misunderstanding. And then he's like, we're not lovers. He's like, why were you doing that? And then this makes Prussia realize that he actually sees potential in a relationship with Russia. And then Lithuania tells him about how it's all surprising. He's so concerned. You guys are such a match. Basically confirming that the story wants us to feel bad for Prussia, even though this is the same story. He basically R-worded Prussia. He R-worded him in the other one. But in this one, it's very tragic because they cut the scene short. The other one was kind of glorified because they wanted you to see, oh, look at that, their bodies are connected. But this one, they cut it short. And then now they want us to feel bad. He's giving Russia another recommendation. What is going on here? Okay. We already know what's going on. They need to justify RusPrus before the story ends. It's gonna make no sense, but they're together. And so, this happens. It can't be, he says. He looks over. Russia's right there. Nice and cute. It wouldn't be. And then they hold hands. They hug. They make up. They fell in love. Finn! What are you trying to tell me, story? It ends like that? That's why it makes more sense. If this is in the universe of World War III. They moved past World War II. Now it's World War III. Russia plus East Germany. Go to war over West Germany. And they fight America, England, and France for the territory. Would that even be a world war? The war for West Germany. Basically, they're together now. East Germany's not joining the West. They're trying to fight for him. That's all I'm getting from this. Because they're together and the story ends. Like, what are you trying to tell me? They're together. Yeah, basically those shorts. Okay, let's go see the comments, though. Look at the comments. The comments are crazy. Oh, let me go back. These are topics. I can't believe this page. Okay. What is going on? Okay, so the comments, that's what really got me. People really love the story. Because it's very dramatic. It's not very typical BL. It's not like, it's about countries. Not very typical. It talks about war. You know, all that stuff. But this. Right here. It's basically, this is the fetish. This is basically the fetish. people love this kind of stuff. So cute. Look at those. Look at those are star eyes. They mean it. Okay. And then this one dominated. It's a fetish at this point. That's all I want. The fetish. RusPrus, okay? We're gonna save this, okay? RusPrus story. It's basically the same story. It's all the same. After years of fighting, of fighting, you can basically make this in a sentence. Fighting. After you're fighting his feelings. Prussia. With Russia. Okay. Gonna make a story. It's gonna be better than some. So he's gonna be with Russia. This shocks his brother. His brother's like, "Why are you going back?" And in Germany, he's like, "Why does Prussia want to go back?" So he teams up with his fears. And he teams up and they things. I'm basically typing a rush. Well, it's like, why do you want to go back to Russia? And then Prussia's like, I love him. And Germany's like, what the heck is going on here? It mounts a rescue. And then there's gonna be a third plot. And like mounts a rescue. And then there's gonna be like something else needs to be going on though. Oh. Lithuania. This time he goes against Russia. Okay. And it's gonna be to save his country and to save Poland. To save Poland and his own country. There. I basically wrote it right there. This is a RusPrus story, basically. The realistic version. The realistic version is everyone wonders what the heck happened to Prussia, and then they mount a rescue because something clearly is going on. And then they do a sequel or something, and then they do that. They mount a rescue, and then whatever this is, World War III. Are you sure? And it's like, don't say. Basically, Russia. It's like he's gonna start it all. He's gonna get bigger. They're gonna make him bigger. And America's like, he's too big. Basically, this is gonna be what Russia wants. And then Prussia is getting taller. And it's like, he working with Russia now, for reals. He's like, why are you getting taller? He's like, cause I'm getting powerful, brother. And then it's like, Germany and Prussia face off. That's basically the story. What time is it right now? Oh my god, it's 1 o'clock. I need to go sleep. I'll probably do something like this similar. Thanks for watching. That's basically what's gonna happen for now. Okay.